Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Kwesé TV. This is the feed with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. We are continuing our conversation we started on Monday with regards to the police finding substantial evidence relating to the disappearance of the three tardy girls. Yesterday, the police again found some remains in another septic tank. This has been a story that has been running since 2018. Coincidentally, where the police found this evidence again had to do with the location of the key suspect. This was where he was rearrested in Nkroful, and where they found the first remains, it was where he used to be. So the second remain they found was where he was rearrested. It means that the police now have 4 remains, and this brings us a certain mystery that will be unearthed by security expert Adam Bonaa, who is currently on the phone to speak to us about this issue. Adam, good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the feed.
Thank you very much for having me.
A pleasure to have you. And in the studio will be Oscar Mauli Nuwati, who is a social commentator and a freelance journalist. They will be helping me dissect these issues. But first of all, let me start with Adam. You have been speaking with this police service. Per what the police have found so far, have they been able to get any concrete message from the key suspect, whether the girls are still alive or it is the remains of the girls?
Oh, yes. Intel I have picked indicates that the suspect, as at the time these remains were uncovered, maintained that the girls were not dead. And therefore, but let's remember they've sent the security operatives on wild goose chase, all over the world, sometimes telling them the kids, the girls are there, they are there, they are there, they are there, and they end up, producing nothing. Even within the Takoradi metropolis itself, they've sent the operatives, to various locations within the metropolis. It's one thing people don't know. Indicating that the girls are there. They get there and the girls are not there. And so it is difficult to prove, if one doesn't use science, to prove that the girls are those of the missing, the human remains
yes,
that, they have uncovered.
Yes.
Because for now, I would say that whatever they tell the security operatives, a lot of them are half truth, some of them are not, right. So we've got to be cautiously optimistic, and we have to be circumspect when it comes to, pointing to they are alive or they are not alive. Because when you have missing people going off for anything, I've repeated it several occasions,
yes,
48 hours, it becomes very difficult to, sometimes find them alive.
Okay.
It depends on the motive of the kidnapper.
Okay.
The motive will determine whether kidnapping for ransom, usually the kidnapper could keep the victim for sometimes more than a year, 2 years.
Wow.
In the likes of Al-Shabaab and the Somali pirates who are operating in the oceans, when they grab you, they take you to Somaliland, they could keep you for as long as they can get so much ransom. But once they get it, chances are that they'll release you. So Adam, kidnapping for ransom could go that way. Yeah.
So Adam, per what the police have found so far, what is the mystery behind all this? We were hearing of 3, and now they found 4 remains. Is it that there could be some secret killings somewhere?
Well, yes. I've raised it on other platforms that this latest discovery actually throws this whole investigation into something else, widely open. It actually then tells us that we might have a bigger issue at hand. We might have something unimaginable at hand. if these findings are anything to go by. And I'm saying that based on certain factors. First of all, formally or officially, we have 3 people the country is looking for. There isn't a 4th person that the country formally might be looking for. If there is, it hasn't come to the public attention or notice. And so to have found these 3 bodies, or 3, human remains at one place, actually it was somehow realistic to begin to point to the fact that, oh, it could be them. It could be the 3 girls. It could be the 3 girls. It might not be them. Let's wait for, DNA or forensic, analysis to be done. But now you have a 4th in less than 2 working days, because the last one was Friday. And remember, Friday. Monday was a holiday.
Yes.
And then Tuesday, they discover another one. That makes it, in less than 2 working days, they discovered 4 human remains. So it throws this whole thing out of, the sphere of, imagination. One cannot just conclude by saying, oh yeah, it will be them. And so for now, I would say that we might have some serial killers on the loose, because for now, we don't even know how many of them have been involved in this.
Okay, stay on the phone for me. I'll be coming back to you. But Oscar, you've heard Adam Bonaa clearly mention that this investigation or these latest findings clearly shows the initial evidence many people thought was so substantial to the place, in throwing it into disarray. Would you say that most of us have now begun to sit back and say that probably these girls might still be alive somewhere?
Thank you very much, Mufta. I seriously believe that we are on on a different platform now. To be honest with you, I've been following this particular story for quite some time now. I've had the opportunity to speak to people who are very close to these families of the missing girls, and all that I'm gathering and all that I'm picking up indicates that they still believe that the girls are alive. And now, for me, I've always maintained that we didn't manage the situation very well, and this is where I come in to blame the Interior Minister. I also blame to a very large extent the boss, CRD boss, because they've not been able to put together their house very well to maintain that, or to, as it were, make sure that we handle the situation carefully.
How did they not handle it well?
Now, listen to me. Do you know that today I am picking up serious information that the area where the police are saying that they discovered bodies used to be an old cemetery. Used to be old cemetery. Okay, so it also goes a long way to prove that probably it may not be the remains of these girls, because how come we are looking for 3 and now we found...
But let's not forget, the first girl, Priscilla Bentum, she got missing at where they found the first 3.
Absolutely.
And the second one was where the second person, or the third girl rather, Priscilla Crunchy, she also got missing. And that was where the suspect was rearrested. It's not as if they got all 4 at the same point.
Yes, and I'm saying that is
it the second one that they found that used to be a cemetery, or the first 3 that they found?
The second one.
So if the second one, then it clearly puts the conversation in a different line.
That is what I'm saying, that probably someone is not doing his work well, because if the place used to be a cemetery, then obviously we need forensic and, of course, serious testing to know that indeed if these girls are, or the bodies are from these same girls. Now, I understand the families are very much agitated at this point, and they are not cooperating with the police to,
they've cooperated for nearly a year.
Yes, and now, look, it is the reason why I'm saying that I blame the CID boss to a very large extent, because I've had situations where I've spoken to people close to the family, and they are telling us that in certain situations, they have to even found, the investigation, because they pay monies for them to go to places, they pay monies to the police for them to go to areas where they have to find all these, investigation, evidences and all that. So if now you are telling me that the girls have been found, the remains of the girls have been found.
No, they've not said that those were the remains of the girls.
Okay,
they've not said that authority.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what they said is that until the forensic auditing, did I say auditing? Forensic lab test is done, they cannot confirm whether it is the remains of those girls or not. Good. So for now, the police have not officially confirmed that what they found were the remains of the 3 tardy girls.
It is the reason why I'm saying that they've not managed the situation very well.
So what should they have done?
Look, what did they do in the Canadian girls' issue? How were they able to quickly put their house together? How were they able to keep information, certain vital informations away from the public?
Let's not forget, the Canadian girls and that of the tardy girls is a bit different, because the Canadian girls, it came to the attention of the police within a day or two.
Yes.
But the tardy girls, one of them, the first person, that's Priscilla Bentum, she was kidnapped on 17th of August 2018. But we got to know about it somewhere November, December.
Good.
So it took a very long time before it came out to us. So if you are to compare the two, the police might have struggled to trace evidences in this case.
And I'm saying that the families told or spoke to people.
Yes.
And they told us that immediately the girls went missing.
Yes.
For instance, Priscilla, they reported to the police.
Yes.
But the police didn't react as swiftly as they did in the Canadian girls' issue.
So stay there up. Mr. Adam, do you have any info about whether the police reacted swiftly after being told about the disappearance of the first person, that's Priscilla Bentum, who disappeared on 17th of August? Hello, Adam, can you hear me?
I'm here, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was asking whether if you have any information relating to the disappearance of Priscilla Bentum, who got missing on the 17th of August 2018, as to whether the police reacted swiftly, because this thing came to light somewhere November, December 2018, and that was about 2 months after her disappearance.
And it is difficult for anyone to contest the police probably do. I would say the initial investigation did not go so well as expected. But subsequently, when the investigations got transferred to the headquarters of the CID, that gained that traction that needed attention, of course, from the executive, and so all hands were on deck. I think I heard your panelists in the studio say the family said they financed
some of the investigations.
The investigations. Well, that cannot actually be substantiated. That would not be true, because what actually happened was that some of the victims' families rather paid ransom, per the records, paid ransom to the alleged kidnappers,
yes,
and waited for their family or the victims to be released. It was not until they realized that the release was not going to happen that they reported the case to the police. But at least I know for one of the families, when they asked for ransom, that family reported the incident immediately to the police, and it is true that the first suspect, Samuel Wills, was arrested, because then the police actually liaised with that family member and told the family, go ahead, pay, so that we would have the electronic transaction detail, which we can use to apprehend him. And so that was done.
Okay.
And he was apprehended. And so we've got to be careful with some of these things, and so that we are able to help the family.
Okay.
I am aware of a lot of the things that have taken place, but it's not everything I can actually put out there. As we speak, I know they they are sending some clinical psychologists.
Okay.
A high-powered delegation, including some clinical psychologists, are going to be heading to the Western region. If they haven't left already, I'm sure by tomorrow they will be going.
Okay.
To give some counseling and support to the family whilst this, analysis are going to be conducted and whilst the investigations take place.
Okay.
It is important for us to note that until such a time that the forensic analysis results are out, it will be very difficult to conclude, just like I said in my initial comment, that these bodies that have been discovered or uncovered are those of the missing girls.
Okay.
Yes, so I think that for now, it will even be very difficult to begin to point hands and say, this person did well, this person didn't do well. I think the concentration would be, what must we do to get the family to, collaborate and assist with the investigations, because we, as those of us who are not directly related to the victims, it will be difficult for us to grieve more than the bereaved.
Okay,
so we've got to be careful.
Okay, when we come back from the break, I will ask you that question about what we must do, because as a security expert, there are several ways of finding some of this information. So when we come back from the break, I will be finding out from you what we must do to ensure that we get substantial information required of us to continue with these investigations. We'll be back in a jiffy. This is Kwesé Feed. Thanks for your company here on the feed. This is the feed on Kwesé TV with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. We are doing the discussion relating to the latest findings by the police. Just yesterday, they came out to reveal that they've found another body, but it cannot be authoritatively linked to that of the missing Tadi girls. On the phone with us, Adam Bonaa, a security expert, clearly said that the latest finding throws the investigations into disarray. And in the studio with me is Oscar Maule Nuwati, who is a social commentator and a freelance journalist. Before I get back to Adam, what did we not do right in this case? Because you were talking about how the Interior Ministry, the CIA did not handle it well. What did we not do right?
For me, I seriously think that this issue is far more deeper than we think it is. We have to take a critical look at the situation and how we manage issues like this. For instance, when the whole thing, came up, the hula baloo, the rush as to how we were digging for information, and these are some of the things that happen in order to keep information, you understand. Now, if you are not able to handle the situation accurately, obviously, the kidnappers or those people behind the whole issue,
the disappearance
of the girls, would chance upon these informations, and also chance upon the fact that we are not able to organize ourselves very well. So looking at the situation, for me, I seriously think that the police didn't do well.
This is one of a kind we've had in our country. So would you blame the police?
How long?
Have you had cases of kidnapping in this country?
Muftau, look, we have not. But then,
so it clearly took them unaware.
Unaware, but we have. I mean, we are in this country and we always see them going on a routine regiment with regards to how to curb crimes, how to fight crimes, and all that.
Yes.
These are some of the things. Why do we have that department in the first place? I mean, intelligence department in the police service needs to be up and doing. These situations. I mean, we've had first one not long after another one came.
The first one was August 17th,
yes.
The second one was December 4, and the other one was December 17th.
You understand? So,
yes.
I mean, it puts a very dark cloud around the police service and, of course, the department that need to put their house together. I'm honestly not very disappointed in the police service.
Mr. Adam Bonaa, just before we went for the break, you were talking about what we must do to get information from the relatives of the victims. As a security expert in some of these cases, what are some of the things that you often do to get critical information, and why is it important to get those information?
You mean to get information from the suspects?
Yes, please.
Are you referring to getting information from the suspect?
Yes, getting information from the suspect and the relatives also assisting you with vital information, and why it is very important to get that information.
Well, you need the relatives, first of all, because they are directly related to these victims, and so you need the relations to tell you the lifestyle of the victims, who their friends are, what they've been doing, the schools they attended, where they usually would go to. Do they usually leave home and don't come back? The type of friends they keep and their attitude. And so lifestyle is very important in every this type of investigations. And so you need the support of the family to be able to piece some of these things together, to be able to get to the bottom of what might have happened. And when it's what do you call that, for the suspects?
Okay.
It is predominantly, making sure they are confident enough to talk, reassuring them they've got to talk, and letting them know that the only way out of this is to give the relevant information and mention names of people who might have been directly involved, those who might have played roles, and to make sure that, in fact, this accusation leveled against them, whether are they aware of it, and then, yes, if they tell you yes, or if they say no, it doesn't end there. You've got to continue with your investigations. And also, this type of investigations, when it comes to one aspect of kidnapping that has to do with kidnapping for not for ransom. Most of these people use a lot of juju, and they believe in metaphysical stuff. They believe in
physical powers,
juju and voodoo and all that.
Yes.
Some of them will go swear, to some gods or some deity, and they believe that if they are not supposed to disclose the whereabouts of the accomplices when they are arrested.
Yes.
And in this particular case, I'm sure the general public was duly informed that somehow the suspect wasn't talking.
Yes.
And a lot of people came up with, why can't you beat them? Why can't you torture them? But the truth is that the Convention Against Torture does not allow suspect to be tortured, not even war. Soldiers who are captured in times of war are not supposed to be tortured.
Okay.
And so,
Mr. Adam,
but be as is made, eventually the security couples managed to get them talking, and out of that, they arrested the second suspect, who was key.
Yeah, you made this point earlier, much earlier. But I just have a final question. In 30 seconds, Mr. Adam Bonaa, there are some people out there who are asking for the CID boss to be sacked. Briefly, just in 30 seconds, do you think that she's done enough to merit being kicked out? If I say done enough, I'm trying to say that she's not done what was supposed of her to get the girls back to their parents.
Anyone who says that probably does not appreciate how much effort the CID, together with the security operatives, the CID boss herself has been involved in this. And so sometimes people speak emotionally.
Okay.
They should detach emotions from professionalism. Then they would, once they do away with that, they will realize how much effort has gone in. And so I don't believe in that school of thought.
Okay.
That says she shouldn't be there. She's the best. I believe she's done what she can do. and she should continue to do it. I don't know who else could have done it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Adam. I appreciate your time here. And Oscar.
Mufta, I think that Mr. Adam is trying to massage.
In 30 seconds.
Yes, he's trying to massage the situation. For me, I seriously think that if you're given a role to play, you are not able to play it to perfection, you should bow for someone to come in.
Thank you.
To the families of these victims, I say they should stay strong. God is in control. They should just keep faith and everything will be fine.
Okay. Keep faith, just like the CID told you, keep on. This has been the feed with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. Up next is Sports Extra on Kwesé TV.